All right, today we're going on a creative adventure together. So, forget the typical fantasy map for a second, because we're about to dive into how to build these breathtaking new worlds by digging into our own planet's untold history. And, of course, by adding dragons.
So the source material for this whole thing, it throws down this incredible creative challenge. This isn't just, a suggestion. It's a quest for every writer and creator out there. It's a call to become a kind of story archaeologist, digging up the real-world past to build the future of fantasy.
Okay, it's a fantastic idea, right? But it brings up a huge question. Where in the world do you even start? I mean, staring at the vastness of all of human history can feel a little overwhelming. And that's exactly what we're here for. Think of this as your treasure map for that journey. So, let's begin. All right, so first things first, we have to face this creative challenge head on. Before we can build something brand new, we gotta understand the box we're trying to think outside of. It's time to look beyond the most familiar fantasy tropes.
I mean, let's be real, a lot of fantasy worlds, as much as we love them, can feel a bit similar. You know the drill, noble elves and shimmering forests, gruff dwarves hammering away in mountain mines, and yeah, a big old dragon sitting on a pile of gold. It's a classic for a reason, for sure, but it's also a path that's been walked a lot.
So, how do we blaze a new trail? Well, there's this really powerful idea called historical fantastical synthesis. Basically, it's the art of taking real, often totally overlooked historical details and seamlessly blending them with magic, with monsters, with all the good stuff. And that blend is what gives a world texture and believability, It makes the magic feel earned and the world feel truly discovered.
Okay, so this brings us to the fun part, actually unearthing those forgotten histories. This is where we grab our metaphorical shovels and brushes and begin our archaeological dig for pure story gold.
Now, any good dig needs a plan, right? And here's a super simple 3-step strategy. First up, you've got to deliberately look beyond the usual suspects. I'm talking about Rome and Egypt. Their stories are awesome, but they're everywhere. We're hunting for fresher ground. Second, once you find a cool culture, look for its mysteries. The unanswered questions, that's where fantasy can really sink its teeth in. And finally, focus. Seriously, don't try to tell the story of an entire empire. Find one single untold story and make that your anchor.
Need a few places to start digging? Oh, I've got you. How about the Indus Valley Civilization? I mean, this was an incredibly advanced urban society, and we still can't read their writing. How cool is that? Or the Kingdom of Kush, a powerhouse Nubian empire that once conquered Egypt itself. You could dive into the Moche of Peru with their wild pottery and mysterious pyramids, or the seafaring Minoans. Seriously, each one of these is a universe of untold stories just waiting.
Okay, so you've found your historical gem. Now, it's time to ignite the dragon's fire. And the key here, this is really important, isn't just about dropping a dragon into ancient Peru and calling it a day. No way. It's about weaving that magic right into the fabric of the history so it feels like it was always there.
And this leads to the biggest question of all, doesn't it? How do you make your fantastical element, your dragon, feel like it actually grew organically from that specific history, instead of just being dropped in from another world?
Okay, check this out. This illustrates the difference perfectly. On one hand, you've got your generic dragon. We all know this guy. Hoards gold, breathes fire, lives in a cave. Done. But what about a historically rooted dragon? Imagine a dragon that was the secret guardian of the Library of Alexandria. Its breath isn't fire, it's a magical sand that reveals the text of burnt scrolls. Its scales aren't just green, they're the color of lapis lazuli, a prized gem from ancient trade routes. See the difference? One's a trope, the other, that's a legend waiting to be written.
So you have your forgotten history, and you have your historically rooted dragon. Now it's time to bring them together in the forge. In this final step, we're going to see how to hammer these elements into a unique new world by weaving a new legend.
And this is where the real magic happens. It's all about combination. Let's take a real historical anchor, right? The mysterious Nazca lines in Peru. Then we ask a crazy what if. What if those giant geoglyphs aren't for the gods, but are actually the nests of slumbering sky dragons? Boom! Suddenly a whole new world concept emerges, a society that lives its life looking at the ground, terrified that looking up might wake their destructive deities. You get a culture, a religion, and a conflict, all born from just smashing two ideas together.
So ultimately what this shows us is that history isn't just a dusty record of stuff that happened. It is a vast, endless library.
and it's filled with the blueprints for forgotten worlds, just sitting there, waiting for a creative mind to find them and bring them back to life.
Which leaves us with one final, thrilling question, a challenge for you. So go on, look into the deep, hidden corners of our own world story. What forgotten history, what untold legend is out there right now, just waiting for your dragon?